So what does it say again?
All right, let's start over. Here we go. We left off last time, when we reviewed last time. Jacob identifies Joseph's bloodstained robe. Tamar deceives Judah to get herself a child after Judah fails to give her his final son. Joseph is unjustly accused by Potiphar's wife and put in jail. So Joseph's in jail. What do you think's next?
What is it?
Is yours double-sided again?
Did you not give me one?
I don't think you gave that one up.
Here.
Adam took the wrong one.
I tried, guys.
Apparently, the copy did a really crappy job.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that.
It was the user. It was the user.
Oh.
I was the copier.
Then I retract my earlier statement.
You retracted it, huh? But you've already said it. All right. What's next? After Potiphar's wife and Joseph goes to jail. What's after that? There's Bibles in front of you if you want to open them up and see.
Should be the baker and the...
Ironically, that was the one I had.
What's he do while he's in jail?
baker and
All right, the main thing that talks about interpreting dreams.
Which I had that one, but you crumbled
You?
it away.
All right. You had that one,
Yeah, but you.
but I took it away from you?
Yeah, you crumbled it.
All right, go bring that up here.
You destroyed his dreams.
So the next one, Joseph interprets dreams in prison. The cupbearer forgets and remembers Joseph, leading Pharaoh to put Joseph in charge of all of Egypt.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
That sound right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. What's next? So he interprets the dreams and he remembers them. And he's put in charge of all of Egypt. Comes after that.
Does that include Pharaoh's dreams?
No.
He starts to store up.
Is that Joseph prepared Egypt for famine, attracting his brothers to buy food? Joseph tested them to get Benjamin to Egypt.
Is there one in there about Pharaoh's dreams first?
Yeah.
It says he interpret Pharaoh's dreams and that's when he gets put in charge?
The cup and
It's like that says he was here to put in charge of Egypt, isn't it?
You're right.
I would say, does that include Pharaoh's dreams or not?
It must.
Do you have an answer key?
Nope. Yes, I do. It's right here. It's called the Word of God.
It's called the word.
It might be.
I thought about that when I put them together. I'm like, what if I put numbers on them? They're all going to figure it out. Except maybe Adam. But just kidding. So Pharaoh, that would lead me to believe that yes, Pharaoh's dreams.
Is it Joseph prepared Egypt for famine, attracting his brothers to buy food? Joseph tested them to get Benjamin to Egypt.
Yes, that would be it. Does anybody else have anything that would fit in between that? No? Okay.
That's his.
The next one? So Joseph tries to get Benjamin to Egypt. You can tell me whatever you wanted to tell me and I would probably believe you. We're not to Moses yet.
I have, no, that would be Jacob blesses them, but that would be, hasn't gone to Egypt yet.
Yep,
so.
he hasn't gone to Egypt yet.
Because Joseph's brothers are tested and it's found Benjamin has a silver cup.
Okay? That would be it. Joseph's brothers are tested. Remember he sent them out with the bags of grain? And he had to put the silver cup in Benjamin's bag. They come back, Joseph reveals who he is, and Pharaoh sends them back to get their families. So he goes back to get their families, and then what?
possibly Jacob finds out Joseph is alive and he and his family pack up?
Yep,
I don't know.
that would be it.
This up before?
All right, Jacob finds out Joseph is alive, and his family packs up and go settle in Goshen, and there they are reunited. All right, what's next?
I have Jacob.
You lost control of your class.
I know,
I think it's your wife.
and I know the instigator.
I have Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim as his own sons. Jacob calls 12 sons together to give them blessings, prophecies of what will happen in the days to come. Jacob dies and they travel back to Canaan for the burial.
Yep.
I think this one's maybe before.
You think that was before that?
Jacob's family settles in Goshen with Pharaoh's permission as shepherds, while famine continues with Joseph exchanging food for everyone's livestock and buying all their land from Pharaoh except for the land of the priests.
Yep.
I bet it's there.
Yep. That would be it. I do actually have some of that here. It's pulled up.
Yay!
All right.
Ooh, pick me. I have it.
So Jacob's family settles in Goshen with Pharaoh's permission as shepherds while famine continues, with Joseph exchanging food for everyone's livestock and buying all their land for Pharaoh, except for the land of the priests.
Me. Pick me.
What do you got?
I have it.
Read it out.
Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim as his own sons. Jacob calls on his 12 sons together to give them blessings / prophecies of what will happen in the days to come. Jacob dies and they travel back to Canaan for the burial.
Yay!
You got it. Nice job. Go at him.
It's a good thing both of us were blessed with long arms.
All right. Next. Actually, we got one out of order.
Oh no.
Oh.
Who's the teacher?
That one goes there. Joseph's brothers are. That's not right.
We want our old teacher back.
I know.
Get the spitballs ready.
That was right.
Are you loving Daniel?
Get the spitballs ready.
Okay.
Class is still interesting, just different.
Class is still interesting. Thanks, Steve. So Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim and his sons. Jacob calls his 12 sons together to give them blessings, prophecies of what will happen in the days to come. Jacob dies and they travel back to Canaan for the burial. I have the answer for what's next. Remember the dad's gone?
Is it Joseph assures his brothers they need not fear him with their father
Yeah.
now dead?
Yep.
Joseph now dies and makes his family swear to carry his bones out when they leave Egypt someday.
Yep, that'd be it. Joseph assures his brothers they need not fear him with their father now dead. Joseph now dies and makes his family swear to carry his bones out when they leave Egypt someday. We're about to find out if they actually did that when Aaron returns. Okay. Joseph's dead. He's buried. What happens after that? It's like the very next line.
A Pharaoh arose that did not know Joseph, and he enslaves the Hebrews.
Yep.
Hey, you already got one.
Number 2.
These are.
I'm just the speaker here.
He doesn't get extra credit, does he?
He gets to lead the class.
I should go with the class.
So Joseph was known among the pharaohs as he was alive, and probably for a while after. I don't remember how many years it was, but you know, just as is everything, right? We're not remembered forever, most likely, and Joseph was not remembered forever, and the Pharaoh enslaved the Hebrews. All right, what comes after that?
The midwives feared God, and the Hebrews multiplied despite Pharaoh's efforts. Moses is spared and is raised by Pharaoh's daughter. Moses later fights evil and then flees to Midian.
Yeah, good. So now they're enslaved. They multiply quickly. And Moses is spared from being killed, because remember, all the newborn boys were supposed to be killed. And he was hidden for a while, then put in a basket in the river. Pharaoh's daughter found him, and where did we stop at there? Oh, he grows up and flees to Midian. What was the evil that he fought? It says he fought evil. Moses later fights evil and then flees Midian.
When he saw the Hebrews arguing, fighting.
Yeah, Lord, before that, he saw the Egyptian beating the Hebrew men, and he killed him and buried him. And then the Hebrew men were fighting, and he was afraid he was going to get outed because they knew about it. So he flees to Midian. What's next? What happens when he flees to Midian?
Goes to the well with the daughters and.
Okay, he goes to the well with the daughters of. Remember what his name is? He had two names. The first one was what?
I don't remember.
Ruel. Somebody got Ruel's? Moses saves Ruel's. There it is. Yep. Terry's got it. Moses saves Ruel's daughters and gets a wife from among them. God hears Israel's cries and calls Moses out of a burning bush that he will be used to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. All right, we're getting closer, so it should be easier to put them back together. What's after that? So he's in Midian. What is it?
Moses continues to question God's plan of using him to deliver the Israelites out of Egypt, and God gives Moses 3 miracles to use to convince them he appeared to Moses. Aaron and Moses will be sent together.
Okay. Very good. She gets the Student of the Day award.
Gold star.
Moses continued to question God's plan of using him to deliver the Israelites out of Egypt, and God gives Moses 3 miracles to use to convince them he appeared to Moses. Aaron and Moses will be sent together. Why was it Aaron and Moses and not just Aaron or Moses?
He was scared.
Too scared? Yeah. All right, we're getting close. What's next?
Moses returns to Egypt with Aaron, convinces the Hebrews with the signs, and fails at their first meeting with Pharaoh.
Okay, you got it. Moses returns to Egypt with Aaron, convinces the Hebrews with the signs, and fails at their first meeting with Pharaoh. All right, we're getting closer. What's next?
I think I need to see next.
Okay.
Moses and Aaron go before Pharaoh with the sign of their staff, turn into a serpent. The magicians do the same, and Pharaoh's heart is hardened. Next, water of the land is turned to blood. Magicians once again replicate, and Pharaoh's heart is hardened even further. Is there one?
There's one before that.
That's what,
There's one before that. So Moses and Aaron go before Pharaoh. Pharaoh gets ticked. And what's he do?
Oh, he takes away the straw.
yeah.
Somebody got anything one about taking away the straw?
Did you print it off?
Is it on the back side of Zave's crumpled up paper?
I don't think so.
Any chance that one was already had one side printed on?
I think that was my wad of papers.
I know. I'm just making sure you didn't pick up one that didn't have anything on the back. Because I see a blank one right here.
Wow, he's about to throw you under the bus.
It wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one. Trash digger.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Nope, that's not it either. That is not my fault. Because it's on here, but it did not print evidently. Everybody look on the floor underneath of it. Just kidding. Yes.
Who's sitting on it?
So the next one, after meeting with Moses, Pharaoh takes away the straw so the Israelites cannot make bricks and beats them for it. Hebrew foremen blame Moses, and Moses blames God. And God promises their deliverance. Okay, so the next one, since nobody has that one. Moses, this one.
Yeah,
You want to read it again?
sure. Moses and Aaron go before Pharaoh with the sign of their staff, turning into a serpent. The magicians do the same, and Pharaoh's heart is hardened. Next, the water of the land is turned to blood. The magicians once again replicate, and Pharaoh's heart is hardened even further.
Okay. Put an asterisk there since one's missing. Very good. Next one. What's after the blood, turning the blood, or the snakes and the blood and the Nile?
We have frogs and gnats like Egyptians, but is that okay?
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Frogs and gnats plague the Egyptians and Hebrews alike, but then the flies, death of livestock in the fields, terrible boils attack only the Egyptians. The Egyptian priests and their gods quickly fall short of power, and Pharaoh seems to relent, but instead his heart is hardened. All right.
God sends destructive hail, devouring locusts, and heavy darkness upon Egypt. Pharaoh continues to lie to get his way, but his heart continues to be hardened. God's final plague is revealed, so a distinction will be made between Egypt and his Israel.
Okay. We had hail and locusts and darkness and Pharaoh continuing to harden his heart. All right. Should be the last one.
God institutes the Passover as instructions for the Hebrews to avoid the death of the firstborn and to remember the night of deliverance annually forever. That one?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Oh, there's the straw one. All right, we got it. Okay, God institutes Passover as instructions for the Hebrews to avoid the death of the firstborn and to remember that night of deliverance annually forever. All right, there we go.
That one's crooked.
That'll be okay. We're all a little crooked. All right. So, here's the next part of the story. hopefully you can go back and put the first part together with it and see how the narrative is playing out. See what God is doing in history with His creation. The last part of today, what are some things that as we went through this section, and you put it with the section before in Genesis, what are some things that you see about God that you never saw before? Or some things that maybe you learned about God that you didn't know before through the history of Him bringing the Hebrew people in as His own people? What are some thoughts there? I know there's a few because I've had a few of you say, I've had some thoughts, but I haven't been able to get them out.
I never knew before that, Aaron brought up about Pharaoh was scared about the Hebrews overpopulating and overtaking Egypt.
Yep.
I had never thought about that before. You
Okay.
know, from all the, children's stories, you never think about that. But it's
Good.
cool hearing about an adult
Right.
version of it versus the kids' version of alligators biting at the ark going down the river and.
Right. Yeah. So, with that, with the Hebrew people growing rapidly, and that was all in spite of everything the Egyptians were doing to keep that from happening. Right? So even in that, God's hand is even in that, where He's allowing the people to prosper in spite of the things that are being done to them to keep them from being prosperous. Good. What else?
Never gave it a thought that God was that strategic.
Okay.
When we went through how the Egyptians viewed the plagues, and the fact that, he always told us the children's stories, like, hey, but there was a whole other backstory to that, that was almost like a mind game with the Egyptians that never really thought of.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's a good one.
G little gods.
Yeah, the little G gods.
Especially with the lamb, and how using their god as the image of their god as almost like a comeback, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron and I actually had a text conversation about this week because I asked him a very similar question, very similar to that, and just that we have so quickly westernized the story that we've pulled away from we watched the video the last time, the unseen realm, like we've pulled away from the spiritual realm of things, and we've made everything part of the physical world. That's a blanket statement, right? But when we pull away from that, we miss those things. And honestly, the spiritual reality is more real than the physical reality that we live in, right? That's a hard thing to think about. I've mulled that one 100 times, right? But the spiritual reality is more real than the physical reality that we live in. And so when God's doing all of these things, He's showing His people that not just am I in control, and not just am I the God over this world, I'm the God over all of creation, like all of everything. And there's, the Hebrew people, for whatever reason, knew that well. They knew more about the spiritual side than we see sometimes, than we understand. And so that wasn't a big deal to them. And that's why they understood that. And when we don't read from the eyes of a Hebrew, right, of somebody who would have been in that story, we very much put our spin on it. We read that out of it and read our enlightened mind into it. So, yeah, that's very good. And we see that through a ton of stuff. And we're getting to a point where we're going to see that more and more and more and more. Yeah, good. What else?
I like that God shows us who He is. He doesn't tell us who He is.
Yeah.
Because we're dumb and we can be told things, but we have to experience them to really take hold. So God's showing us who He is through this whole story.
Right. Yeah, good. Good. What else?
I think even that God is just very much a God of details,
Mhm.
and like every detail matters. And so, like the hyssop branch that they used to put the blood on the door is also the hyssop branch was used when he was on the cross. That the sponge was soaked and put on that, and so like all of those little details, like they all had significance and meaning. And so even in our own lives, God cares about details.
Yeah. Yeah. So the class, when Aaron talked about fractals and math and science, and a lot of our eyes probably glazed over a lot of that because it can be so deep and can be complicated, but when you pull back and you look at it, and he showed the pictures of those and kind of gave the visual of that, and you start to see things happening, patterns of things happening over and over and over again. And what I'm coming to realize is if you don't do what we're doing here on a Sunday morning, if we're not if we don't seek to understand in the Old Testament, then when we get to the New Testament and we see that they used a hyssop branch, well, that just might have been the one that was right there. And maybe it was, but there's a reason why, there's those things that repeat, right? There's those things that happen more than once, and they're the details that God put in there. And, as Jesus comes onto the scene, right, and he's here with his people, and he starts to do things, and people go, oh, wait a minute, I remember that from Exodus, from whatever it is, and from the prophets, or from wherever in the Old Testament, and those things click, right? And I think that's what we're trying to do now, is to go back and see those things that we maybe or maybe haven't seen, most likely probably haven't seen over the years, because we read through it and go, man, I don't understand this, I don't know what that means. And then there's so much time in between that it's hard for us to make those connections. And so I think that's what I really appreciate about this class, is that we get to see those connections as we go through it, right? What else?
When we go back and we look at it chronologically, it's always interesting to me too, because it's so easy to be a little hard on the people because we're seeing things through the filter of all the rest of the stuff.
Yep.
When you go back and you think, this is like the Wild West. When you start out,
Right.
you see how, no, they don't have it all figured out. How could they have? And how God is revealing himself as it goes along, and just not looking at it, trying to not look at it always through the filter of, well, I already know what happens, but trying to get lost in the story as it progresses. Because it does change the way you see stuff play out. It's not like, oh, how could they do that again? Or how could they have thought that? But when you see it they didn't have the whole story. They're going
Right.
bit by bit and learning as they go. And
Right. Yeah, good.
I think it shows his sovereignty throughout all the past. He's not just reacting to what happens. He's got to come up with a plan B. He's had a plan and that's why it goes way deeper than we understand, because he had preordained everything that he was going to have happen in order to reveal himself in a certain way at a certain time. So.
Yeah, good. Good.
And he didn't use perfect people.
No.
Praise the Lord.
We have learned that we're not even very far into the story, and we have already seen that, right? He's not picked the perfect people that to do the things that he wants done, to enact the plan that he has. And it gets even sketchier as we go on. Good. What else? These are all really good thoughts.
He's pretty patient with Moses. Moses is whining, I can't do this, I can't do this. First day, and then just shut up and do it. But he's like, okay, I'll give you your brother. I don't know. That just always amazes me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And back to Danielle's point, we read back into that knowing that we know the rest of the story, right?
Yeah.
But we read back into that and going, man, why was he so whiny? Yet when we reflect on ourselves, right? Sometimes it's like, why do we find it so hard to do the things that he wants us to do? Why we have all of this, right? We have all of this, and then we have all of the time from here till now where we see that he's kept his promises, where we see that he's done what he said he would do, and yet we still look at it all and go, but really? Are you really going to? Or, yeah, I don't think that's what I want to do. Right? And so hopefully this gives us a little bit of, helps us to reflect on, what God's done from the beginning of time. Good. What else? Anything? What has challenged you in this last section? It could be the whole class, but in this last section, what has challenged you in this? What has been a challenge to you?
Reading the biggest things challenged me to like how pathetic I was on my Old Testament knowledge. Like,
Okay.
Thorough knowledge.
All right.
Got the highlights, but it's like, oh dang.
Yeah.
And again, it just brings it back to the, that chart where all the points are interconnected, however, how many thousands of,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the story's perfect and it's telling.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
I think just a reminder that he is the same God now that he was then.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of think, that he changes with, the Old Testament God and there's New Testament God, but he's all the same and he never changes. So just remembering that.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else? All right. We'll close with that this morning.